decimals to percents and percents to decimals. Well, let's start by changing some percents to decimals. And when you want to change any percent to a decimal, the process is always the same. We're going to move the decimal 2 places to the left. We're going to move it 2 to the left. All right, let's look at this first example. If you want to change 12% into a decimal, think about it. 12% as a fraction is 12 over 100. And we know that this fraction bar is a division symbol. It can mean 12 divided by 100. And we know that 12, when you divide anything by 100, you move the decimal 2 spots because there are 2 zeros. So if you want to convert 12% into a decimal, you simply move the decimal 2 spots to the left. Same with 9%. 9% is the same as 9 over 100, which is the same as 9 divided by 100, which means we would move the decimal 2 spots. So 9% as a decimal is 0.09. 280%, same thing. 280 over 100, which would be like 280 divided by 100. So we're going to move the decimal 2 spots. It would be 2.8. And this last example, 3.6%, would be like 3.6 over 100, which is 3.6 divided by 100, and we would simply move the decimal 2 to the left. So let's do a few of these. And I think what I'm going to do, just to show you how easy this is, and that the process is the same for every single one of these, I'm going to start by writing these percents on the line, and we're going to change all of them into decimals by moving 2 to the left. So 14% would be 0.14. 3%, 0.03. 1.4%, 0.014. 180% would be 1.8. 0.3% would be 0.003. And 9% as a decimal would be 0.09. So all you have to do for a percent to a decimal, just move the decimal point 2 to the left. And when you're going to change a decimal to a percent, it's just the reverse procedure. We're going to move the decimal this time 2 to the right. For example, if you had 13 hundredths, and that's how you read this. This is 13 hundredths, which means if you wrote it as a fraction, it'd be 13 over 100. And we know that percents are out of 100, so 13 hundredths is 13%. But all you're doing is you're moving that decimal 2 to the right. In the next example, 1.42, you just take the decimal, move it 2 to the right. That'd be 142%. 4.1, convert it into a percent. I'm going to move it 2 spots, would be 410%. And our last example, 0.235, if you wanted to convert that into a percent, would be 23.5%, 23.5%. So again, same process on every single one of these. I'm going to start by just writing these decimals on the line. We're going to convert them all to percents, and the process is exactly the same on every single one of them. We're just going to take that decimal and move it 2 to the right. So 6 hundredths would be 6%. 1.3, 130%. 0.002, or 2 thousandths. This is actually less than 1%. That's 0.2%. 7 tenths would equal 70%. This would equal 0.5%, or 0.5%. That's less than 1%. And the last example, I'm just going to move it 2 spots to the right. 2.2 would be 220%. So just remember, when you're changing decimal to a percent, we're going to move it 2 to the right. And for a percent to a decimal, we're going to move it 2 to the left.